Hi guys, today on the Not a Nail Tech series I'm going to try and make a boho western fringed kind of 3D nail like this vest that you can see on here. So I've started by mixing Bear Hug and Top Coat together, and I'm just doing a really thin layer of that, and this is just going to be for the base. I want it to look quite natural, and I'm going to do a couple of layers of this just to give it the effect that I want. I've cured that for 60 seconds and I'm just going in with a second coat just so you can see the colour just a little bit more. And I'm going to pop that in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds as well. Now I'm going in with Bear Hug just on its own and doing a really high smile line, and this is just going to line whereabouts we're going to put the design later on. And it's all going to get filled in with some more Bear Hug as well. So now I'm happy with the shape of that. I'm just going in with the Bear Hug on the normal brush from the bottle and just filling in the rest of the nail. I haven't cured the line that I've done earlier because I want to blend it in. Pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds and I'm just going in with a second coat just to make sure it's completely opaque. I just want to make sure this is as smooth as possible. I'm just going over the whole nail now. It's cured for 60 seconds with our ultra matte coat because I want the tan colour to look a little bit like leather, like a matte leather. I don't want it to look shiny. So I'm just making sure this is on really nice and smooth, and I'll pop that in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds again. Now that's cured and all matte, I'm going in with Clear as Day Builder Gel, and I've just managed to find a little plastic bag and I'm going to use this to make basically a sheet of gel polish. So I'm just going over this with the Clear as Day Builder, and I'm going to do 2 coats of this because I think I want it a little bit thicker. And I'll top this with Bear Hug, some matte coat, and then it'll look exactly like the rest of the nail, and I'm going to use this to cut up to make the tassels. So in hindsight, it would have been better to use something a little bit flatter because it was a little bit wobbly in the end, but it turned out absolutely fine. So if you were to do it, I would probably try and find some flatter plastic than this bag, or to do it on a flat table, I did it on my hand so you could see what I was doing. So over the top of the builder gel, I've just put a layer of Bear Hug, made sure that it's nicely covered, and then cure that again. And I'm just going in with matte coat to finish off my sheet. And pop that in the lamp. Next, I decided I didn't want the sheer colour at the top to be matte, so I decided to go back in with a top coat and just finish it off, just because I wanted this bit to look like the natural nail and the matte was a bit too matte. Pop that in the lamp, and then I'm going to peel off my little sheet, and as you can see, it does come off relatively easily. And next I'm going to go in with some scissors. Please don't judge my scissors, they're a little bit mucky, but it's okay, they work, they do the job. So we're just going to chop off the ends so it's nice and smooth, and then we're going to chop it into really thin strips, and these are going to make the tassels. So I'm just going back in, chopping it into really fine strips. The finer the better, as long as it's not snapping, because you want them quite thin to look realistic. And to attach the tassels, I'm just using some more Clear as Day Builder Gel. And I decided I didn't want the whole tassel to be stuck down to the nail because I want it to have a little bit of movement visually, not physically. And I didn't want it to be stuck down right at the ends. I wanted it to look like it was blowing in the wind. So as you can see, I stuck this on here and it sits flat at the top and lifts off a little bit at the bottom where the nail curves. So I'm curing in between all of these little bits just to make sure it's stuck in place. And the hardest bit about this is just making sure that they're where you want them to be and they're not moving around too much, which is why I've been curing in between every 1 or every 2 strands that I'm popping on. So I've been cutting them down, so the middle one's the longest one, and everyone going next to them is getting a little bit shorter because I want it to flow around the nail. And that one didn't stick on quite as well as I wanted to, so I've just gone in with a little bit more Clear as Day Builder gel and just popping that back on. And then just flash curing that before I go in with the next tassels. So this process is quite repetitive, but it's super, super effective. I'm really pleased with how these tassels actually turned out. Like, they look quite realistic. I'm glad I went in with the matte cut because I think if I'd have left them shiny, it wouldn't have given the same effect. So again, I'm just going in with some Clear as Day Builder gel and an even shorter strip of my tassel. And I'm just going to pop those on and cure them again. I'm just going in with the last tassels. I don't think I'll put any more around the sides, even though there is a little gap, because I think they'd just be too short and they'd get in the way a little bit. But I am going to add some studs on to finish it off. Like I said, just move them around until you're happy with the placement and then flash cure them. So I'm just using one of our carousel wheels with our mixed coloured decals. And I'm just going in with some little gold studs. So I'm starting off with a slightly bigger one in the middle, and then I'll be using the smaller ones around the side. So I'm just popping the Clear as Day on and putting the gem on top. These little things are quite fiddly to pick up, so our picker-upper pen does actually really, really help. Although I am super, super clumsy and drop them all the time and get them the wrong way around, so I've cut all that bit out because you don't need to see me dropping things all over the place. So just make sure you're happy with the placement of these and flash cure them in between as well, because you don't want to push them around and them fall off the area that you want them to be. I also am very aware that this nail is not very practical. You're going to find that things will break if you were doing this as a full set to wear for like 3 or 4 weeks. It wouldn't be practical, but it would be great to make as a set of press-ons that you use just for special occasions. If you were going to a fancy dress party, or if you wanted just a Western look in general, it would be fantastic. And there is the final result, all cured. Our Western 3D tassel nail. Let me know what you think down below, and if you want any of the products used today, they'll be tagged somewhere around the video. See you later.